Chapter 1, Whispers in the Mud. The mud clings like a second skin, thick and cold, pulling at the boots of Private Thomas Whitaker as he crouches in the trench. The air is heavy with the scent of damp earth and something sharper gunpowder, rust, the metallic tang of blood. Somewhere beyond the barbed wire, the enemy waits. Somewhere beyond the wire, his brother waits too. Thomas presses his back against the splintered wood of the trench wall, fingers tracing the grooves of a letter folded tight in his pocket. The papers, soft from handling, the ink smudged where his thumb has brushed over the words too many times. My dearest Tom, it begins. The rest is a blur of longing, a promises of a life that feels impossibly distant now. He can almost hear her voice in the rustle of the paper, the way it trembles when she writes of the garden she's tending, the roses she's coaxed to bloom despite the war. A shell whistles overhead, the ground shuddering as it lands somewhere in no man's land. The men around him don't flinch. They have learned to live with the sound, to measure their lives in the spaces between explosions. Thomas exhales slowly, watching his breath curl in the damp air. He thinks of home, the way the light slants through the kitchen window at dusk, the way his mother's hands move deftly over the sewing machine, the way his father's laughter booms through the house like a thing untouched by war. But home is a ghost now, a memory wrapped in the scent of lavender and wood smoke. Here, in the trenches, there is only mud and blood and the ever-present dread. The men speak in hushed tones, their voices swallowed by the earth. Some whisper prayers. Others curse. A few, like Thomas, say nothing at all. He unfolds the letter again, smoothing the creases with his thumb. The words blur before his eyes. I dream of you every night, she writes. I dream of the way your hands feel, rough from work but gentle, when they touch me. I dream of the day you come back to me. He swallows hard, the paper trembling in his grip. He wants to believe her. He wants to believe in the life waiting for him beyond this hell. But the war has a way of stealing dreams. A rat scuttles past his boots, its beady eyes reflecting the dim light of a lantern. Thomas doesn't flinch. He's seen worse. He's seen men torn apart by shrapnel, their screams swallowed by the mud. He's seen the way the earth drinks their blood, how it holds on to the echoes of their voices long after they're gone. He thinks of the telegrams that never come, the letters that go unanswered. He thinks of the boys who left with him, their faces bright with youth and hope, now buried in the mud or lost to the fog of war. He thinks of the way the world has changed, how the lines between life and death have blurred into something unrecognizable. A hand claps him on the shoulder. Corporal Harris, his face streaked with grime, nods toward the front. They're moving up the line, he says, voice low. You're next. Thomas folds the letter carefully, tucking it back into his pocket. He knows what comes next. He knows the weight of the rifle in his hands, the way the world narrows to the sight of the enemy through the scope. He knows the way his heart pounds, the way his breath comes short and sharp. But he also knows the words of the letter. He knows the promise of home, of her waiting, of a life beyond this mud and blood. He stands, boots sinking into the earth. The men around him watch, their faces grim. They know what it means to be next. They know the cost of war. Thomas takes a deep breath, the letter burning against his chest like a talisman. He steps forward into the unknown. Somewhere beyond the wire, his brother waits. Somewhere beyond the wire, his future waits. And in the mud, the whispers of the fallen linger, a chorus of voices lost to time. The next chapter begins with a single step.